Think of all the wonderful restaurants you used to go to that no longer exist. We've compiled a list of some of your favorites, and we think that's a big, hairy deal. The Howard Johnson's Company launched in the 1920s and grew along with the American car culture. By the 1960s, over 1,000 of the restaurant hotel chains' distinctive orange roofs dotted the American highways. However, within just a few scant decades, they disappeared. The hotel portion of the business was sold off, still existing in name, but with none of the classic Hojo design elements. Meanwhile, the restaurants died a slow death. As of 2018, there is only one Howard Johnson still in business. Bill Knapp's was an American family restaurant chain. It was founded by Clinton B. Knapp in Battle Creek, Michigan in 1948. The chain operated in Michigan, Ohio, Florida, Illinois, and Indiana, with more than 60 locations at its peak. Its downfall came when they decided to redecorate to appeal more to young families. The interior looked more like a daycare center than a restaurant, and people kept not coming back. The first Sambo's restaurant opened in 1957. The chain's name was a source of controversy. According to the company, the name was simply a combination of the founders' last names, Weinberg and Hasseldorf. The fact that the decor of the restaurant displayed the racist character Little Black Sambo didn't help their cause. At its height, the chain had about 1,000 locations, but dogged by the controversy, the company shut down in the 1980s. Most of the locations were sold to Denny's. Country singer Kenny Rogers teamed with business partner John Y. Brown to launch this chicken chain in 1990. While the food was popular, they were never able to break into the market, and the restaurants were sold off to Nathan's in 1998. However, the chain was immortalized in a classic episode of Seinfeld.
Oh, check it out. Wow, Kenny Rogers Roasters finally open.
The story of Minnie Pearl's Chicken has become a cautionary tale for franchisees. In the 1960s, businessman John J. Hooker teamed with country singer Pearl to launch a chain of restaurants bearing her name. Initially a success, there were nearly 500 locations at one point. However, the lack of cohesive menu or recipes sabotaged the food, and the whole franchise fell apart within a few years. And as Minnie Pearl always used to say, "Ooh, doggy." The first White Castle opened in 1921 and became the first popular fast food chain. As is prone to happen in business, numerous imitators quickly opened. One of those knockoffs was known as White Tower. White Tower copied White Castle's menu, style, advertising, and even architecture. At its height, there were 230 White Towers, but the chain died after legal action from White Castle forced them to make significant changes, like go out of business. Chi-Chi's was launched in the 1970s by Marno McDermott and NFL star Max McGee. The chain quickly grew, introducing a menu of Mexican-style food to many American towns. However, as the popularity and variety of Mexican restaurants grew, Chi-Chi's began to die out. The end happened for the franchise in 2003, when a hepatitis outbreak in the food supply led to 3 customer deaths. Well, if you had to have a reason. The long-gone Coon Chicken Inn restaurant chain claimed in its advertising that it was nationally famous. This was a bit of an exaggeration then, but it might be true now. Its present-day notoriety is based on its objectionable name and the use of a grotesque racist image on buildings, delivery trucks, china, glassware, and printed advertising pieces. Certainly it could not have achieved fame for its food. The menu of the Coon Chicken Inn reveals selections only a few degrees more ambitious than that of drive-ins of the 1930s. Other than chicken dinners, the menu included chili, cheeseburgers, and ice cream desserts. Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor was started in Portland, Oregon by Bob Farrell and Ken McCarthy in 1963. Farrell's became known for their offer of a free ice cream sundae to children on their birthday. The parlors had an early 1900s theme with employees wearing period dress and straw boaters hats, and each location featured a piano player and, of course, the famous Farrell Zoo. In 1972, the Farrell's chain was purchased by the Marriott Corporation. By 1975, there were 120 Farrells nationwide. Thereafter, sales dropped, and most of the parlors were sold off in the 1980s. Today, there are only 2 Farrells remaining, Brea and Buena Park, both located in California. Ponderosa and Bonanza Steakhouses, now owned by the same parent company, once numbered in the hundreds across the United States. Today, the total of both stands at under 20 across the country. And let's not forget Sanders, Charlie Brown's, Pioneer Chicken, Weston's, Bennigan's, Noggles, Druthers, and so many more, because they too were a big, hairy deal. Here are some other videos we hope you'll enjoy. And also, we'd love it if you'd leave a comment and subscribe below.